Hello, everybody. So, this is just a spontaneous live stream, see who jumps on. And it's about observe. This one topic is going to be about self observation. How good are we at observing ourselves? How good are you at observing yourself? It's almost even helpful just to one way, like if you're on a phone call or something, just recording yourself or asking the other person permission if they can record the conversation and listen back to ourselves, because our self-awareness, I'm going to change the title of this. How self-aware are you? And by the way, my name is Steve for new viewers. I'm the affordable life coach. Been doing it for 15 plus, I think it's going on 15 and a half years now. And if you like ridiculously affordable life coaching sessions, email me. It's in the description. The consultation is complimentary. So, how often do we actually observe ourselves? Like, have you ever looked back at your life and things that you said or things that you did, and you feel a sense of shame and guilt? And you're like, what was I thinking? How could I do that? How could I behave that way? How could I treat my partner or my girlfriend that way? Or how can I sabotage the relationship? And we have this blind spot where we go through life being ourselves like a fish in water. So you don't even know you're in water. You don't even know what you're doing, how you're living, and the impact it's having on other people, the impact that it's having on you. And a very it's a very stagnating way to walk through the world and to live life, not being self-aware. And the catchwords and buzz phrase is always mindfulness. You need to be mindful. You need to be aware. You need to be present. But we're really not. Our human brains are just not hardwired to be that way. So we just go through life doing stupid stuff. And when I'm coaching people, I'm very honest with them, and I bring things to their attention that they had no idea that they were doing. It's like we don't even really know ourselves, and then we walk blindly into walls. We make dumb mistakes. We create suffering, hardship. And there's something very empowering about being a scientist, uh, being an examiner of your own life and how you walk through it, how you engage with people, and just with people. And I'm including myself in all this, of course, that we just have repeating, repetitive behavioral patterns that are a turnoff to other people or really make us not feel good about ourselves, or really ultimately negatively impact the quality of our lives. And just sort of random examples from people, from clients, from myself, or just things I observe online. It's like human beings, 60% of our behavioral patterns are automatic and conditioned. And we say the same stupid stuff. We complain about the same stupid stuff. We get aggravated and frustrated about the same stupid stuff day in and day out. I get clients that will just lose their mind and start being very reactive if anything in their lives reminds them or brings up Trump. And I'm like, you're giving all your power away. And they'll start complaining and ranting and raving. And I'm like, what are you doing? You cannot control. Like, we have so little control. I know we think we have a lot of control, but it's like being wise is realizing what you have control of and what it's better just to accept, and the things that are better to make a change. And or I'll get clients that will be very possessive with their partner. Like, they'll want to know where they are. They'll want to know what they're doing. Like, they don't trust them, or they'll snoop on their phone to check if they're getting any messages from secret lovers. And I'm like, what are you doing? Do you realize how toxic this is? Like, it's not healthy to engage in behaviors that falsely make you feel safe and secure when the real issue is you don't trust your partner, or people that are not real, and they wear a smile on their face, and they say all the right things because they don't want people upset with them, and then they end up creating disastrous endings to relationships where things end in divorce, things just fall apart, things are just become extremely hostile, or in the workplace, they'll just explode. Like, are we observing that going through our life, how we engage with the world has a huge impact on how others feel about us and how we feel about ourselves? I mean, come on. It's a skill set. And I've made this mistake so many times where I look back and go, what was I thinking? And that's why I love, like, coaching is really effective, or going to a really good therapist and getting some radically honest feedback about things that that are blind spots that we're not aware of, or other people won't tell us about. And sometimes you listen to people, and they'll just repeat the same complaints about their partner, the same complaints about their job, the same complaints about themselves, and you know they're not going to change, and you really just want to say, shut up. Enough is enough. Now, I do this as a career, so if a client needs to vent, I let them vent. But if it's perpetual venting without a solution, like, what are you doing? You're never going to get that time back, and you're eroding the quality and depth and enjoyment of your life. And I think there's two people on that right now. Oh, now there's 0 people on. And so I could sit here and complain, why isn't anybody watching my live stream? Why is my channel not bigger? It should be bigger than it actually is. Like, it does that is going to get me nowhere, and ultimately I'm responsible. If that's something that's really important to me, I take ownership of my life and I make the changes. I hire someone to help me promote my channel. It's just not a high priority for me right now in my life. I enjoy making videos, and what happens is, and where the channel goes is whatever. Like, I'm okay with it. But if I were to sit here and complain and be discouraged, I wouldn't have had a channel for 17 years. And sometimes I do get in that state. I'm not saying I never get in that state. And that's like, what's the point of making videos? It doesn't reach a wide audience, and it's just useless. So better not to make videos. But it's just really good to have that self-awareness, and to just like I said, either you accept, you change your life, or you just adapt to it. Yeah. So those were some of my thoughts about that, is realizing, like, we complain about other people, but just being self-aware about hi, Terry. how annoying we can be. We don't recognize it. We're so quick to pick up how annoying other people can be, but we don't pick up on how annoying we can be as human beings. And good morning. Please feel free to add any comments, questions around this topic or any other topic, Terry. And so it's just, and something that's really helpful in this is just asking people. Most people are not going to give it to you, but some people will, asking people for radically honest feedback of, something as simple. I get clients, and just, not even clients, just clients and people in general, that just talk and talk and talk. Like, they will talk 95% of the session. That's fine if that's what they want in a coaching session. But I'm like, listening is such a invaluable skill that produces great rewards and benefits. And they're not even aware how much they talk. And when I was single and I used to go on dates, and it's rare you go on a date with a person and they're genuinely interested in you, ask questions about you. And I would tell the people, like, we've been here eating dinner or whatever for an hour and you barely asked any questions about me. And do you realize how much you talk? You talk way too much about yourself. And I know that's socially unacceptable, but it's like, if we don't tell people the truth, how are they going to change? It's like you're giving them a gift. Now, where they choose to open that gift is their decision. But just the lack of self-awareness we have as human beings is mind-boggling. And then the problem is we bring the same issues and problems to other relationships, to other jobs, to other life situations. And we just like complain. Like, you go on I'm not a TikTok person or whatever, but I see clips and how unhappy and negative, and how, for example, the country they live in is the worst ever, and it's fascist and totalitarian, and both sides do this. It's like when we don't have meaning and purpose in our life, and for me it's God and biblical principles in living. If we don't have that in our life, we get caught up in the triviality, the insignificant, the things that are outside of our control. It's really what happens is people are unhappy with their own lives, and it's hard to deal with that or take ownership of that. So what they do is they blame something external. There's something external, and it's, the flavor of the month is Donald Trump or some policy or whatever. And meanwhile, they're raging and they're angry and they're sad and they're crying. And then, you get these actors and actresses and people, oh, I'm so sad about, this, what Donald Trump is doing here, what Donald Trump's doing there. Or you get people online, doing the virtue signaling. And I even get clients like that they're very woke. That's fine. You want to be woke. And they're like, oh, Black Lives Matter. Okay. What are you doing? You have a t-shirt on, you have a sign in front of your house. What are you doing what actions are you taking in order to make a difference? Do you have a large circle of Black friends? You live in a white neighborhood. Like, you're such a hypocrite. Do you visit white businesses? Do you go to the inner city? Why don't you go to the inner city and give them your business? If your heart is so broken about discrimination or racism, whatever, do you tutor inner city youth to help them lift up their grades? Do you big brother, big sister? Do you mentor? It's like people just want a virtue signal and they're so unaware of it because everybody does it. And it's so it's so hypocritical. And when you call them out on it, there's always an excuse. Like I tell my clients that are very woke, go do something, make a difference, volunteer. Don't put up a sign or wear a shirt or post these videos about how much you care about a certain demographic or group. Yeah, the lack of self-awareness is absolutely amazing. And then there's always an excuse. Oh, I don't have the time. It's not going to make a difference. I don't want to live in that neighborhood or those neighborhoods. It's too far of a drive to patronize Black businesses. I mean, just give me a break. And we need to call other people out. And again, this is on both the right and the left. This is not a political exclusive to one side. One side tends to do it more than the other, but there's there's areas in our relationship that we do the same thing, just in different areas and in different ways. And we want to wear the mask of we're a good person. And it's like counterfeit money. It's easy to get. And when people don't call us out on it, like you actually are able to spend that money and people don't call you out on it and there's no consequences for it, you're going to continue to do it because it's low effort, high reward. And this virtue signaling of these people, their lives, you see their lives on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, and it's a highlight reel. Like I love the video. There was a video somebody made because there's all these travel videos and how wonderful traveling is and how glamorous traveling is. And you should be out doing this and living the adventurous life. And the guy showed what really happens, not just the highlight reel, and how, sleeping in random parking lots, having to use gym showers or improvise your own showers, all the long hours of driving, or just you have to cook, the loneliness, the boredom. I mean, just let's be real. And then you feel liberated because you no longer have to put on a mask. That, like, putting on that mask is so tiresome. Wearing a mask and being fake and being phony is so exhausting. Where keeping up that front on a day-to-day basis, it's just wears people out. And it's, you don't connect with people on a deeper level. It's like, let's just be real, let's be aware, and let's call other people out, not in a rude or aggressive or confrontational way. Just let's be honest. The duplicity, the false image that we juggle to keep alive is tiring. And you can tell it right away. And I have so many clients that are people pleasers, and that it's something that we work on in coaching sessions, and it's something I call them out on. And they think they're being nice by not being honest with their partner, whether they have issues or things that bother them with their boyfriend or girlfriend. And then eventually the relationship crashes and burns, and they leave destruction in their wake. And they think, and I'm trying to be proactive. I'm telling them, be proactive, be communicative, be honest, be open. I don't want to. Sometimes they'll say they want to, and they just never follow through because I don't want to upset the other person. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to dump on them. I'm like, oh my gosh, do you realize that this is not sustainable? And this relationship is going to crash and burn? And you are like that. That is evil. Like to not let the person know how you truly feel in the relationship. If it's a familial relationship, it's a coworker relationship, if it's a boss relationship. Now, bosses in other situations, there might be all of these, there might be consequences. But let the chips fall where they may by being honest and truthful. Like I would rather the relationship not work out because I was honest and truthful than keep something half baked and half faked alive. Uh, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to be rude. But you're going to dump this person or the relationship's going to crash and burn because when we suppress our emotions, it manifests in other ways. We get angry, we get frustrated, and we slowly start chopping away at the relationship until it self-destructs. And then the partner is devastated. Like, and you're worried about saying something that might be rude or might hurt their feelings. You need to say it. Otherwise, things just eventually go south. And so, like, please do a self-assessment. Do a check-in with yourselves. Like I like to look at my day, how I engage in the day. I like to reflect what I did well, what mistakes I made, and then learn and grow and evolve and be radically honest with myself. Now, I'm not able to see that. So I have a support system in order to help me point things out. But it's like a skill set that we were never taught. Like when you were young, no parent is ever going to teach the child, let's review your day. Let's review your interactions. Let's review areas of your life where you took the easy way out, the safe way out, that you self-censored yourself. You didn't have the uncomfortable conversation. Come on. We just don't do that. We go through life on autopilot, and then we get into our 30s and 40s and 50s and later, and like our life is like a flash in the pan. Where did it go, and what was the quality of our life? And then look at people and dealing with people that are just so unhappy in their life because they're chasing something that is above and beyond their capabilities. Like, be honest with yourself. You can't, like, I've had clients that want to be professional athletes, want to be professional artists or singers, or I've had, when I was younger, they wanted to be models. And this was like, when I was young, I remember a specific conversation when I was a teenager, and she was a friend and she wanted to be a model. And I was so honest with her. I said, do you know, first of all, you're not model material. You're not going to be a model, and you know how hard it is. And for every 100 people that want to be a model, or every 1,000 women that want to be a model, maybe one will make it. And oftentimes people don't even have the work ethic or the drive or the intelligence to accomplish the things that they say they want to accomplish. And we don't keep ourselves in check, and we're not real with ourselves. So we set these unrealistically high goals. I made a video a while back saying, you can't achieve everything that you say you want to do. Some people, you just don't have the capability, but nobody wants to be the person that rains on that parade and is honest with them. Nobody wants to be that person because they'll be upset with you, and you would rather be approved than be honest and really help this person out. And like, with one of my clients, he wanted to be a professional football player, and we worked on it, and he got to a level in his youth where he was pretty talented and skilled, but he just didn't have the drive. He didn't have the discipline. He didn't have the grit. He didn't have the fire. And I tried to tell him, stop wasting your time pursuing something, because he didn't have a plan B. And if you're not able to self-reflect, and if you're struggling, which we all do with optimism bias, we're going to flounder in life. And it's so important to set the bar realistically. And I'll give you another example of this is people that think they can do better, get a better looking partner, a better looking mate, a higher status woman or man than they actually can attract. And you see this on the if you watch some of the clips on whatever, and they ask the women to rate themselves, and these women that are like 4s and 5s are rating themselves like 8, 9s, and 10s. We're delusional. And the problem is then you get into your 30s and you're single and you're alone. And as you get into your 30s, women's fertility starts to go down. And after 35, it just like dives off a cliff. And so we haven't been realistic in the self-delusion, thinking we could get and attract a mate higher caliber than who we could actually attract based on our status, based on our, there's a lot of factors based on our income, based on our personality temperament, based on our social skills, our emotional skills, our ability to communicate, our ability to love, our physical appearance. There's so many metrics, and it's a marketplace of demand. And if you don't, it's like going on eBay. And I made this mistake on eBay where like I have an item I want to sell online and I price it way higher than it is actually worth. And it just sits. And there's very low interest in it. And then okay, I got feedback and I need to lower the price. But what people do, they don't get feedback because people are cowards and they don't tell them, listen, stop trying to date women that are 7, 8, 9s, and 10s. In total, you're only a 5 or 6. Start dating women that are 5 or 6, or vice versa. Start dating men 5 or 6. And we have all these grandiose expectations. They need to make this much money. They need to be this tall. They need to have their life together. They need to be physically fit and go to the gym. And they need to, whatever, the whole laundry list of things. They need to have the same political ideology and beliefs as me. You're going to just torment yourself because you're not living in reality. And then you're falling behind. Your 20s, like every decade is a preparation decade where you should be planting seeds for the next decade. And if you're not doing that, you're going to fall behind. And I have that with clients that are in their 30s now, are mid 30s, some of them late 30s, some of them even in their 40s are still deluding themselves or chasing the wrong thing, like chasing just beauty. Yeah. So it's an act of love towards ourselves. Like everybody talks about self-esteem. Oh, my self-esteem is low and my self-esteem. Well, that's not important. What is important is the actions you take in your life, because the actions we take in our life contribute to how we feel about ourselves. And if we're not honest with ourselves, we're not going to take actions that are constructive, achievable, realistic. Yeah. Or just another thing, being honest with ourselves. And nobody talks, nobody calls people out on this. Like I get people, and I've fallen into this trap. I'm guilty of it as well. Everything I'm guilty. It's like a learning experience for myself as well. Of like, stop, get off your dang phone. Get off of social media. Get off of all the news and political drama and start living your life. Like, when's the last time someone actually said that to you face to face? Put down your damn phone and start connecting with people And I know this is a common critique. It's almost cliche, seeing people at dinner and it's a group of, especially younger people, I think are more prone to this, and everybody's on their phone. And like I said, I'm guilty of this as well. But one of the things hey, maybe the people you're associating with are not interesting. Maybe you're not interesting. And that's what you need to be, is honest with yourself. And when you're honest with yourself, okay, I'm not interesting. I have clients that there's no substance or depth to them. And that's something we try to develop in coaching. Like asking them a deeper question or talking about something different than what's on Netflix or sports or their business or making money. They're just lost. And I've even had clients. One of my male clients comes into mind. He's like, on dates, I have nothing to talk about because he's addicted to his screens. He's addicted to computers. He's addicted to porn. I don't know what to say on dates. And he doesn't have hobbies. It's like, one of the things is get out of your house, get out and engage with the world. You'll be amazed at how much more fulfilling. Hey, just even talking to random strangers, going to meetups, going to a church, going on hikes, doing adventurous things. Like we can't sit here and complain about, oh, I'm so unhappy. My life's so miserable. I'm so sad. I'm so anxious. I'm so stressed. And all we do is work all day staring at a screen or sitting or being in a job that we don't like. And then we come home and we try to unwind and relax. And I'm guilty of this as well. And then we're like, oh, I don't know why I feel anxious. I don't know why I feel down. I don't know why I feel stressed and depressed. It's like because we're stagnant. We're not living and engaging with life. It's like we're living in the matrix. We're living in a world where we're just being tantalized and allured and getting dopamine hits, and it's so empty. And that's the thing that I see in coaching, and that's the thing that I strive for, is to help people find meaning in their lives, find purpose. And just when you ask people, one of the things I'll ask clients is, what are your top 5 values? And is your life in accordance with those values? And a lot of them don't know. And then the ones that know, okay, we match up their life based their actions, their daily life based on their values. And it's like it's a grand canyon in between their values and what they say they want and their daily actions. Yeah, it's just it's painful. It's painful to live life, walking through life without that deep self-awareness and without having someone in your life that is really going to be radically honest with you, give you a wake-up call. And I've had clients that get so upset with me because I tell them the truth. I've had clients that have cried. I've had clients that are angry, that will cancel the coaching sessions with me because I just told them the truth. And that's a price I'm willing to pay. And not that, that's some heroic, well, I guess nowadays and age, it is a heroic act to be really brutally honest with people. Again, not in a rude or aggressive or demeaning way, but also on the flip side, a lot of people really appreciate it. A lot of people appreciate it, even the small things. Like one of my clients, he would say, "Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?" He would say that probably 20 plus times in a session. And I said to him, I said, "Are you aware that you say, 'Do you know what I mean?' all the time? Has anyone told you that?" He's like, "No, no one's ever told me that." And he wasn't even aware. I mean, that's how vulnerable we are to our faults. we're just not self-aware, and that's lack of self-awareness is dangerous. It is absolutely dangerous because we're living lives based on a faulty operating system, and if it doesn't get corrected, we're just going to repeat the cycle day after day, week after week, year after year, and before you know it, you're 5 years have passed, a decade has passed. And then I get some clients, and I'm just trying to help people that will be watching this live stream. And Terry, thank you. I see you've written some comments. I just want to wait until I finish what I'm sharing to address your comments, and I appreciate the comments. Then I get some clients that they want to complain, they want a result. Like one of my clients, he broke up with his girlfriend, and I told him, hey, girl is a keeper. She is a keeper. Don't let her go. Don't blow this, and address the issues that you have in the relationship. Accept her faults and her flaws, and have really open, honest communication so she knows how you feel, you know how she feels, and there's things that you could do to work together to make the relationship stronger. And sure enough, and I knew this was going to happen. I warned him about this, and I said, "You lose her, you're going to regret it." And he screwed the pooch, and he lost the girl. Didn't listen to the coaching advice, and now he's devastated, and he has immense amount of regret, and he's in a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. How can I get her back? And this happens very often in coaching. Don't be a dummy. Listen to the coaching advice. Like, I have been doing this for 15 years. I have become very on my own self development journey. I've learned a lot of things along the way. I made a lot of mistakes, and I want to help clients prevent making the same mistakes. And so be teachable, be coachable, shut up and listen. Listen to the advice you're getting, and realize that you have blind spots. You're ignorant. You're young. And when we're young, we're stupid. We do make stupid decisions. And I didn't have a mentor when I was in my teens and 20s and early 30s. Like, I didn't have a mentor. And so I had to learn all these things and read all the books and make all the mistakes on my own. And a common refrain I hear from clients is, man, I should have listened. I should have listened. And fair enough. Some people need to just fall on their face on their own to realize. But, I'm the type of person I would rather learn from other people who've made the sacrifice, who've paid the price, who've suffered the consequences of making mistakes, than making them myself. It's like a shortcut. It's a cheat code. Why not listen? And so I have some clients that they're just not coachable. They're not teachable. They just want to talk and talk and talk. And that's fine. If that's all you want, and I let them know that, and they say, okay, I want a sounding board. Fair enough. But then don't come back and complain about, the small amounts. Or with this particular client, I gave him a big warning sign about it. Like, humble yourself. You don't know everything. Like, listen to your parents. Listen to people that you respect and admire. Listen to some of the messages in all my videos over the past 17 years. Listen to the coaching advice that I'm giving you if you're a client of mine and I work with you directly. It's just like we're lost. And now that we have GPS, like, GPS keeps us on track, on focus. And when we go make a wrong turn, get off the wrong off ramp on the highway or freeway, it alerts us and it tells us, this is how you course correct. That's what I'm here for. That's what a coach does. It tells you how to course correct, but you got to wake up and listen. Okay, let's see what Terry has to say, I know that reactive people are when a certain name is mentioned. Oh yeah, it's just and it's almost like you need to desensitize, or they need to desensitize themselves. It's like, they should hang pictures of Trump up on their wall so they teach themselves not to be reactive. Like they give their power away just by mentioning a name. Like you're going to allow him to rent space in your spiritual being. What are you doing? Like, people don't realize how weak that is. And then I have clients that won't even talk to family members. And there's so much anger. And like that anger is not Trump. You project it onto Trump. You blame it on Trump, but the anger is within you. And people need to hear that. When we get squeezed, we see what's inside of us. And like the little things that I get annoyed at, like, what am I doing? Why am I allowing someone not picking up their dog's poop to annoy me? Like, what does that say about me? And oh, I'm justified because that's wrong. They should be doing that. We don't live in a world where people follow rules in general. Like, people break the social etiquette rules all the time, especially when you live in big cities, when there's no consequences. I feel that way about others at all times, but less in myself. That's harder. Yeah. If you could be, I don't know what specifically you're referencing. Maybe you could update that. I always want to tell others to see your problem and it's in the mirror. It's so true. And it really upsets clients when I tell them, hey, you're the problem, you're the solution. And they bring the same problem to situation, relationship, to job, to everything over and over again. Like it'd be another thing if people say, okay, you know what? I know I'm too possessive, I'm too jealous, or I'm too much of a coward, so I'm not going to have real deep and meaningful relationships, or I'm going to end up sabotaging the relationships. And I'm okay with that. Okay. And they don't complain about the consequences because everybody wants the reward, but they don't want to, of an easy, cowardly shortcut behavior that's in their comfort zone. They don't want the consequences. So stop complaining. It's just, yeah. It sounds like I'm complaining about this, but it's a wake up call. Like I'm just shining the light on this. And I have learned how not to let this frustrate me. Now it doesn't always work. Sometimes it can drive me crazy, but after 15 years, you learn human nature and you see what's behind the curtain. The most people you meet, like coaching has really taught me that when you meet someone, you're just meeting the representative. You're meeting the fake, modified, altered, like, like a woman that puts on a lot of makeup and stuff like that. And without the makeup, but you're like, wow, you get a little bit you get frightened. But in coaching, I get to see behind the curtain who the real person is. And it's just like tearing the curtain down, ripping the curtain down is just so liberating. People don't want to go deep. They never ask themselves the deeper questions. Yeah. And that's absolutely true. But it's like, do we ask them the deeper questions? Do we ask ourselves the deeper questions? Because it's really easy to rip and complain, about other people in our lives. They do this, they do that. But we have to be the solution. We're the problem and we're the solution as well, by just being honest and direct and open and communicative and authentic and having difficult, uncomfortable conversations, helping them go deep, taking them into deeper waters, choosing topics that they're able to go deeper on. So there's a lot of agility that we have to maneuver ourselves in conversations so that the other person can go deeper. Hey, thank you. Uh, Dick Boss. You're a good man, Steve. I appreciate that. And that's another thing is, man, don't get it. That'll be another video. I'm not going to go on a rant about that, but don't get attached to compliments and approval. That just makes you weak. Like if it's specific and it's helpful for me to make better live streams, things people like, specific things people don't like, okay, that's beneficial, or your job or in your relationship. But man, so many people shape shift their personalities to approval, and it turns you into putty. It turns you into a marshmallow. It turns you into a simp, a weak, people pleasing type of guy or woman. Yeah, we need to be humble ourselves. Yeah, it's humble, but also just self-aware. We really need to be self-aware and examine ourselves. I think that's kind of the takeaway of this live stream is we need to ruthlessly examine ourselves. And that's why journaling or having a mentor, or like I said, having a coach, or having it's hard because friends and even our spouse or boyfriend girlfriend can be very good because they know us very well to shine the light on our weak spots. So yeah, that can be very helpful. Okay, is there, yeah, I got a life coaching session coming up shortly. So is there any closing questions, comments, anything that, and I appreciate your contribution, Terry and Dick and Boss. Just hearing people, yeah, did you name yourself so people would have to say it out loud? But yeah. So is there anything that anybody would like to share before we wrap up here? And again, thanks for everyone's input. Yeah. So the most important thing is just, do you enjoy your life? And is your life an adventure? Now, and you don't have to travel to make it adventure. Just being real in the world and getting off screens makes life interesting and adventurous and engaging. And so I'll let you all go and do that. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And if you want to contribute to the channel, there's a PayPal link in the description. And consider sharing the video and commenting. Thank you, everybody. Until next time. Bye-bye.